Well,
Here we
that
go.
worked out well.
We made it. We are officially live. I'm going to return on the on-air light. So
Oh, boy.
note to future versions of
Oh,
JV
that was
Takes.
good.
You can't just press start streaming.
Oh, hold on. There we go.
You can't just press start streaming. You also have to press go live. So
Yeah,
that's a thing.
Ellesmore Plumbing's already ripping you because we were behind schedule. But we weren't. We were on time.
The flusher fixer is in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, we were on time. We just weren't live. So welcome, folks. Merry Christmas from JV Takes. We were just admiring this beautiful setup that Kyle put together by himself. I think we get you a little HGTV show or something like that.
Yeah, what would...
Kyle and Jessica?
No.
Play on words there?
I don't know what it would be around, but podcast setups or something.
There's potential there. We could workshop it.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Do you have a mustache on your face?
I do.
Oh my god.
It looks good, doesn't it?
It works.
It's thick.
It works.
Yeah.
I said you look like, what's the guy from Simpsons again? Flanders?
Flanders, yeah, that's what you were claiming.
You look just like Flanders.
Yeah. I mean, it is stash season.
It is stash season.
Do you want me to go into the why?
I think there's a couple different stash seasons per year, but go ahead and explain why you would say right now is stash season.
Okay, so, well, holidays, obviously, we got this festive setup. What I like about the holidays, I think we've said this last year, you get the alumni back, you start running into people around town. This last Friday, we were in Goodhue and had a little alumni event from 2019.
Okay.
And man, there's some bad stashes out there. Like,
the kids can't grow them yet?
no,
Not thick enough?
No, they're just bad. I mean, spindly. Okay, Maddox O'Reilly. You remember Maddox from back in the day?
Don't know who that is.
It's rough.
Is it?
His is brutal.
Oh,
yeah.
That's too bad.
Kelby's slightly better, but not much. I was down in Grand Meadow. Blake Benson.
Okay.
My God, that's brutal.
Really?
Like, really bad.
Is there anybody that's meeting the bar of a decent mustache?
I haven't seen one.
That's tough.
No. So I asked Jessica, I'm like, are mustaches like a thing for the younger generation now? And she's like, yeah, they're kind of coming back, blah, blah, blah. And then it got me thinking, once a coach, always a coach. I need to coach these kids up a little bit.
Once a coach, always a coach? Okay.
Yes. So I ran into the 2019 team. They got all these terrible stashes. And I'm like, you know what? It's my public service to show them how it's done, right? If you're seeing something bad, you got to demonstrate.
Right.
So
be a leader. Be the change you want to see in the world.
So, gentlemen, here you go. Check it out. This is how you grow a stash.
Do you remember last year when Chatfield and KM wrestled and my mustache went viral? Do you remember that?
No.
It was before Chatfield KM. And the lady who was singing the national anthem, they put the camera right on her, and I was just over her shoulder with my mustache, and my mustache broke the internet.
That's impressive.
They had to shut down the entire internet and restart it because of my mustache.
Yeah. So there it is. Stash season. And okay, for all of you out there now that are like, well, Kyle, you look absolutely ridiculous. If you're trying to grow a mustache, you look ridiculous too, because this is actually a sweet one. So
how do you do that? Do you have to eat certain foods, lots of asparagus, protein?
No. I just woke up and I said, I think by 4:00 I should probably have a mustache.
Oh my gosh.
So there it is.
All right.
But you should have grown one this year.
I can't afford to do that. I have enough ugly going on already. After I shaved my head, that was kind of my bold piece of hair.
It was bold, yeah.
Work.
That's why you cover it up every time.
Yeah. And you told me you said you shaved your brother-in-law's head.
Yeah, we actually just did the same.
He wanted to look like me.
No, he thought he would look like The Rock if he did it. Not quite like The Rock, but
didn't work.
Yep. So.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Is that Blake or Bryce?
Blake has the terrible stash. Bryce has the shaved head.
Bryce has the shaved head.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, Kyle, that's very generous of you, giving out advice to the younger people, coaching that younger generation.
Well, and what I'm worried about is they're like young, still on the prowl, trying to settle down. Like, guys, I can tell you what's going wrong. It's not that hard. Like, come on.
Okay. Maddox, I think Maddox has a significant other. And then you said
he sticks with that stash, huh?
Maybe not for long.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
So,
okay.
but I'm sure these are just the ones I saw in the Goodhue community. I'm sure there's a ton in Section 1 that are just walking around with these terrible stashes. So
That is very generous of you, Kyle. I would, dare I say it, we might be the most giving and generous Minnesota wrestling podcast this time of year. You're giving out free mustache advice.
Yep.
I've been giving out free bulletin board material.
You did.
My first round of rankings, I ranked Chatfield number 3, and you laughed at me. You said I was not going to be able to justify it, and I'll give you credit because this time you were actually right. I absolutely blew it. I disrespected Chatfield. I had to apologize in my second round of rankings, and then you know what I did in my second round of rankings?
Blew it.
I ranked ZM 5th. I ranked ZM behind Northfield, behind Cass and Manorville, behind Albert Lee, and then they go and beat the Comets. But here's the thing, Kyle. Once again, doing it out of the goodness of my heart, giving them some free bulletin board material, trying to motivate these teams. I got you.
I got completely distracted by bedtime routine, and right before this, I was going to pull up the clip so I could play it back.
The clip. Yeah. Go ahead.
So,
Tell the people.
yeah, Logan has been anti-ZM all year.
Whoa.
I have been on the bandwagon. He has been all over KM, right? Yeah.
What?
So I had a statement in our preview episode that ZM is going to have a big win before Christmas. Check.
You were technically wrong.
They had 2 big wins.
They had 3 big wins. They beat Pem as well.
That is true. So
technically,
we'll play that back at some point. Probably not on this podcast, but every time I'm right. I got to get that on the button bar.
you do got to get that on the button bar. All right, quick check of the chat here. We got Elsmore Plumbing. Yeah. He says use Miracle Grow for the mustache. Have you done that?
No, I don't need to.
You have not.
No, I think I can change this setting. Oh, there we go. There we go. Probably distracting. There we go. We're good.
Yeah, there's a lot of lights going on.
Yep.
Your mother says, wow. I don't know what that is in context for. And my mother says message retracted, which means she probably broke some sort of YouTube rule.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. I feel really bad for my younger brother, Keaton. He's 11 years old, and I stopped at my parents' house to borrow this Santa hat. And as I was leaving, I heard my mother say to my 11-year-old brother, do you want to snuggle and watch JV Takes tonight? It's like,
Oh, he's just too young to like not be able to get away.
poor Keaton. He's like,
Yeah.
no. And he just ran for it. But good luck, Keaton. Sorry, buddy.
No, that's good. Good stuff.
That is good stuff. We had a lot of wrestling this past week, but I think we got to address the elephant in the room because everybody here knows about Alan Josh.
Oh, you set me up. So you go ahead, and then I'm going to yell at you.
Well, you texted me sometime last week. It must have been, was it Wednesday night or Thursday night? I was just getting tucked away for a long night's slumber. And you texted me, check out the Alan Josh podcast. I checked it out and I poked the bear, Kyle. And you also poked the bear.
No. Here's the deal. I may or may not have just spoken the truth. You get me lumped into these ridiculous statements that you make about which led down to the Section 2 versus Section 1 and all these other things and blah, 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 blah. So I just talked about hair dye, hair color. There's no shame in that. I don't know why people have to hide from these things.
So for the record, I did say that a Section 1 super team would beat any other section. And I'm going to look into the camera for this. I stand by that. I stand by that. I double down. I triple down. Al was going through a Section 2 super team, and he's like, oh, this kid's going D1. This kid's a previous state champion. This kid is, committed to da-da-da-da-da. Well, guess what? You got to come into Section 1 territory. The rules are different down there. The rules are different down there, and there was a pretty darn good Section 6 team that found that out on Thursday night.
And Section 7 when they met up with Hastings.
And a Section 7 team that met up with Hastings. That's
and
right.
Section 3 when they met up with Chatfield.
Yes.
So, I don't know.
Something to
Numbers
be
don't
considered.
lie.
Numbers don't lie. And you were going to formally apologize to Josh for saying he uses hair product or hair
No,
color?
no. I wasn't going to apologize.
Oh, you were
Call
gonna.
a spade a spade.
You were also gonna double down.
I got a spade somewhere on here, I'm sure.
I don't see one. Maybe on the back.
No, right here.
There's a spade. Call a
think.
spade a
Yeah, I don't
spade.
know. So,
All right. Well, I better show my Christmas.
but I
shirt
want
off if
I
you're
want
showing.
Alan Joss to release that Mom's episode that they said they have 3 episodes they've never released.
That's kind of scary, isn't it? What do you think?
Scary?
What
That would be
happened?
great.
What happens in that episode to the point where you can't release it?
I don't know, but it would be a lot of fun to hear. Are you going to line that up? Keep talking about this, but
I was gonna, but then I got busy doing Christmas decorating or something.
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
So we mentioned that big win Thursday night. That was a ton of fun. Have you felt a gym that electric in a while?
Oh, which one are you talking about?
ZMKM Becker. Were you down for
Oh.
Mayhem and Mazeppa?
I was about to torch Mazeppa, Zambroda, and everybody affiliated with that. Because here's the deal. I had some bad intel, and somebody tells me, I'm not going to point anybody out or do anything like that or say any names, but they're on, was it Huddle or something?
They were on Huddle, yes, if you were on the wrong stream.
So I pull up Huddle, the worst ever stream in the history of the world. So I'm trying to watch Becker, ZM, no, it was Becker KM.
It was Becker, KM, and then it was... No, it was ZM
it was
Becker,
ZM Becker.
and then KM Becker.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch ZM Becker. And the camera is pointed like dead center court. You literally can't see either mat. I am going off to you in a text message and to the people around me. Like, this is classic Mazeppa. Like, classic.
Did I tell you about my experience?
So
what I did is
I get a little
I drove
creative.
there, and I walked in the front door, and then I sat in the stands.
Yeah, you can go
And
there. I'll get shanked.
There were no...
And I don't know why. You're the one that just rips them and actually like discredits them in all the power rankings and everything. And I've been supportive from the beginning.
I do it out of the good of my heart, though. Remember, I'm providing bulletin board material.
So you know what got me? You know how I finally figured out like this can't be right, even though somebody told me it was. I didn't hear Witchy.
Oh, you didn't hear Witchy.
Because there was no sound. And I'm like, all right, this does not make any sense. So finally I just started searching, found this YouTube one, and got much better. Much better. Then I could watch the fireworks.
Honestly, that's why the majority of the people come to the ZM Wrestling stream is for Brian Witchman. Do you know that?
Sure.
He's the draw. Guess how many...
I came for the Cass Manorville Comets, and then there happened to be other teams there. But...
Yeah. Is it true that... So when the scoreboard went out during the 189-pound match, you were under the scores table jiggling the power?
No. Let's just...
Is that true?
We got to get to that. Let's talk about the
you
first
were
match.
so upset to see a comet on their back, you had to jiggle the power supply?
Yeah. How did you have them in your power rankings? Yeah, I rest my case. Okay. First match. ZM Becker. You were there. What was it like?
It was good. It was a good environment. I would say ZM Becker wasn't quite the peak of the night. It was surprising to see ZM get out to a 21-0 lead, but it really wasn't at the same time, you know. ZM is really strong down low. Becker is also pretty solid down low, but it looked like ZM just had the upper hand there. They get up 21-0, and then Becker just has a juggernaut middle of their lineup, so they battle back, and then last couple weights go to ZM. It was pretty sweet. It was pretty sweet.
I would actually disagree. I was watching it on Huddle, so not actually watching it, just seeing random feet come into the picture and then leave. But you could see the scoreboard. They had a little scoreboard in the Huddle thing, and it was like, I don't know if it was 5-0, 9-0, boom, whatever. And I'm like, man, they were running. That surprised me, actually. Because Becker, on paper, it looked like we're going to have some competitive matches down low, and ZM came out and it just absolutely firing.
I think my favorite part of that match is I was sitting right in front of the Becker crowd. I got some really good commentary and thoughts that I got to hear.
From the Becker fans?
Yes.
Are they arable?
They're good. No, they were not arable. You would not be able to say them on air. But I would say very good wrestling community. Like, they know their wrestling. They know the ins and outs of the sport and stuff. So Becker did, I don't know, they didn't have everybody in their lineup, but they basically had everybody, and you wrestle the match with who you have, right? I mean, they might have been missing one difference maker in the lineup, but another awesome win.
We could play that game for 99% of all duels wrestled from December through February.
I agree. And it's like, by the time, we play this hypothetical, oh, well, this kid will be back, and then this kid will be back, and this kid will get down to weight. You never know if those things are actually going to happen. And by the time those things happen, maybe you have another injury, you have grades, another individual ineligible. So my power rankings are going to have to be updated, Kyle. I have no other choice.
You did update them, right? And then we're wrong.
I updated them the day before the triangular.
Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah. So KM, ZM was last, which means KM and Becker was second. And I don't know. KM kind of just grabbed control of that one from the start. They looked really sharp. They were winning matches at the end of periods. They were getting majors down to decisions at the end of period. They looked really good from the start and kind of controlled that one. So AA rankings are going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be?
Finish up the duel and then let's talk about that.
So ZM KM was the last match of the night. I think it kind of went chalk up to like 189. I think everyone who was kind of expected to win did win. And then there's the big toss up at 189 that's tied into the second period. Owen Lexfold hits a big move like he's been known to do time and time again. He's got the kid on his back, edge of the mat, mayhem in Mazeppa. The crowd is loud. Kyle's covering his ears because it's so loud through the stream. And then the scoreboard goes out. Unbelievable. Just impeccable timing. There was 4 hours of wrestling that night. Probably 5 hours of wrestling. 4.5 hours of wrestling. But it picks the one moment for the scoreboard to go out when the entire night is hinging on that moment. And then...
How did it go out?
You were under the scores table jiggling the power supply.
Because there was like a minute 10-ish, I heard, roughly left. And then, so it was back.
My theory is that the shaking from the stands did something with the power supply or outlet or something. But the weird thing was the scoreboard still had the same memory when it got turned back on. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So there was a disconnect between the control panel and the scoreboard, but the power of the scoreboard didn't entirely go out.
I think that's how they're all, I don't know how, but they're all set up that way.
Can you imagine if it was the other way around? Like if a ZM kid was on their back, or if we were in KM and a KM kid was on their back, the conspiracy theories that would be floating.
Well, yeah. So you're just saying it got too crazy in there and it jiggled the thing out.
That's what I think happened. Yes. Why did you describe it like that?
Well, that's what you said. You're like, it got too loud and it just vibrated out. I don't know. I don't know.
I think so, because there was a lot of stomping going on. It was funny because I was just sitting enjoying the match, getting some pictures, and then apparently Brian Witchman called me out on the ZM live stream. So I went up to the live stream area where they had the microphones to figure out who the heck Brian Witchman was. Had no idea who this guy was. Walk up there. He's like, hey, I got an open microphone. So I sit down. And then the dams broke loose and everything opened up. And I got blamed for all the chaos that happened, which that's possible. Might have happened.
Yeah. No,
so then,
it was fun. It was really fun watching because I could rewind. So I could see what was going on. And then, yeah.
How long?
It was wild.
How long do you think he was on his back, or the pinning situation was going before they stopped it? Like the scoreboard stopped and the scoreboard was out for how long before they blew the whistle?
30, 40 seconds maybe, somewhere in that ballpark. I don't know.
It could have been. It took a lot. It took a lot to get the officials' attention.
It's hard though in that moment because adrenaline's pumping and even as a fan just watching, you're like, what the heck is going on right now? So you really have no concept of time. I should have actually timed it.
Right. So here's what it took to get the officials' attention. There was a water bottle that went across the mat. There was...
Over, not across, over.
Over the mat. There was an assistant coach that made it to the mat. There was a stats girl and a elementary student from the stands.
Safe. Hey,
and this was just an absolute scene. I'm just going to be honest. I thought that there was potentially going to be a mosh in Mazeppa that night. I thought that they were going to be dancing at the center of the mat.
We need a ref we can just call right now, because what is the technical rule if the scoreboard goes out?
It's a good
I mean, it's
question.
happened. I mean, it happens a lot actually throughout the course. Not a lot, but it happens throughout the course of the year, when especially at individual tournaments and stuff.
Well, if we have any referees in the chat here. Oh, we do have a ref in the chat. There we go. Jill, do you know the rule on that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. Maybe she'll answer, but I'm curious.
That is a good question.
So,
Do you get so like when you have blood time and somebody's on their back, you get an extra point, right? Do you think that's got to be a thing, right? You get a 5-point near fall.
No, not when the scoreboard goes out, because that had nothing to do with anybody other than, I don't know, people not checking their electrical cords.
Yeah. So
Actually, ZM should have been penalized a point. Like if your equipment is not up to standard, that should have been a team point.
Oh, that's funny. That's
That's my opinion.
So then
Get your stuff right.
Owen Lexfield, after that, he went up, I don't know, it was 8-1, ends up winning the match. And then a couple toss-ups at heavyweight, ZM grabs one of them. 189 was really the crazy period, but ZM got it done, 29-26. I'll say it, Kyle. This is the best rivalry in the state.
In the state?
With maybe the exception of Bondsview and Stillwater.
Holdingford Staples?
Never heard of them.
You are so one-track mind.
Did you say Holdingford?
Ford. I don't want to get canceled again.
Would you rather watch KMZM or Holdingford and Staples?
I would rather watch KM and ZM.
What's the better rivalry?
I don't know. Never been up there. That's why I wanted to go watch the Section 7 finals, but you're like, no, it's too far.
Are you a Section 1 homer or are you not a Section 1
I'm
homer?
a wrestling fan, Logan.
You need to take... Are you a fan or a media member?
Oh.
Which one are you?
You are annoying.
You need to take a stance.
You're annoying. All right. Anything else on that night?
Let me check my notes.
But okay, we might as well jump into it. You did mention, I mean, so ZM, for those that don't follow the rankings, knocked off number 2 and number 3.
Yes, I have the solution. I want to hear your answer first, though.
The solution for what?
The rankings.
Well, I don't know. Just get rid of rankings. They don't matter, obviously.
Okay, that's actually a good answer. So number 1.
Okay, who's number 1?
Simley or Watertown Mayor. And the one that's not number 1 is number 2. Zimbrota Mazeppa is number 3, Casson Manorville is number 4, and Becker is number 5.
Are you looking? No, okay. All right. This is shenanigans, Logan.
I wonder if staring into the camera is
ZM beat
the
number
dramatic
1
effect I'm looking for.
No, ZM beat number 1 and number 3. Somebody tricked us with those MN Wrestle rankings. KM was ranked 1.
MN Wrestle tricked themselves when
number
they put those
3
rankings
was
out.
Becker. Number 2 is Simley. Number 4 is Watertown. Number 5 is Marshall.
Say that one more time.
Cass and Manorville,
Yep.
number 1.
You're talking about the guillotine.
Yeah, the rankings.
Correct.
I don't know why we have
The real ones.
It's getting messy now with 2 rankings out there, but the rankings have it KM 1, Simley 2, Becker 3, Watertown Mayor 4, Marshall 5.
Yeah.
DGF 6.
Yeah.
So, where's ZM in this?
They're number 3. You put them at 3. You let Watertown Mayor move up to 2. Simley grabs the 1 spot.
Why?
You put ZM at 3.
Who's Watertown or Simley beat?
I hate it when you make a great point. Put ZM at 1. I'm
Exactly.
with you.
This isn't even a Section 1 homer take, Al. This is just reality.
Do I owe another apology to the people of Zimbrota Mazeppa?
You do. You keep trying to discredit them.
I'm sorry. I should not have said you guys belong at 3. You belong at 1, Zimbrota Mazeppa.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
I just don't know anything about Watertown Mayor. What do they got? They got some studs.
I also put this note. I think this goes without explaining, but Zimbrota Mazeppa has improved their stock more than any team in the state, I would say. The Guillotine had them lean and mean to start, or maybe outside of the rankings, and now we're talking about them 1, 2, and 3. They have just boom, boom, boom. You get a perception of a team going into the year, and you stick with it too much. It's not good. Don't get stuck on that. Have an open mind. And ZM has proved a lot of people wrong.
Ben, I see you, and I agree. Can I like comments on here?
Who is Ben?
Ben Murray.
Oh, okay. What's going on, Ben?
Logan probably doesn't, but
Yep, he agrees. ZM number 1.
so no, it'll be fun because actually the new rankings come out later this week. I think the 27th of December. So, all right. I see you're trying to do something, so you're going to be ineffective here until you finish that.
No, I was just getting caught up on the chat. My older brother Mitch, he asked, who is the producer tonight? You're looking at him, Mitch. I am the producer. I tried to get a brother to help. Ethan said no, and Keaton said he would rather snuggle with his mom. So we do not have any producer tonight. Thank you for asking. If you're free, Mitch, you know where Kyle lives. Stop on by. So out of this big week of results, Kyle, I've came out with some very, very big questions that need to be answered. Okay. So aside from Zimbrota Mazeppa, which team do you think had the biggest result on Thursday night? Because I've got a few really good options here.
Which team?
Yes, had the biggest win or showed the most or took a big stride. Who showed the most on Thursday night?
Mute me for a second. I'm about a cough attack.
Let me see if I can do that. Did it work? I think it worked. Yeah, it worked. Okay. So
we need that so I can hit a button or something.
Significant results that I have from Thursday, Kyle. Then I'm going to let you kind of weigh from.
All right. I'm just going to go with the Chatfield Lake Crystal match, which I didn't see because I'm all set up. I got my 2 screens ready to roll. Like, oh, it's about 7:10, 7:15. I'm going to flip it on. Guess what, Logan? It was over. I literally heard the announcer saying, well, thanks. We'll see you at the bye-state or something like that. And then I quick jump on the forum. I see the score, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I missed this entire match. So what time did that start? Do you know?
They moved it up to 6 because of weather.
Hey, thanks for the help, buddy.
That's on DJ 63.
So I missed it. I didn't get to see anything. Doesn't really look like we missed much, though.
No. Yeah. There was a couple good matches. I saw Roland beat one of the Palmer brothers 2-1, which is it's a state champ versus a guy that got 3rd at state last year, which is pretty fun. So,
and the final on that was 44-16. So they took care of business.
44-16. So Chatfield gets another big win. Once again, they're just riding my bulletin board material right into winter break here. Other ones that jumped out to me: Pine Island, Oliver, Stewartville, 61-6. Pine Island continues to cement themselves as one of the top teams in Section 1 AA. This one, I kind of liked what I saw from everybody in the Northfield, Rochester, Mayo, and Austin triangular. So Northfield went 2-0. Wins are what we want, right? Everybody will take a win. I don't care what it looks like. Get me a win. But Rochester, Mayo, they only lost to Northfield by 11 and did not have Calder Sheehan or Kellen Berger in the middle of their lineup. So if they can work those guys back in, I don't know. If I'm Rochester Mayo, I'm actually feeling pretty good about my chances in 1 AAA. Maybe making it to the section final, maybe making it out of the section. Who knows? And I did see in that one, you remember last year we were talking about Juan Cobarruvais out of the lineup, Caleb Loomis, their heavyweight out of the lineup. Both of them were back in the lineup. So
I did see that. Actually, I didn't see it in that duel, but I saw it at the Christmas tournament results. So
yeah, that could have very big implications. Also, fun note from that night.
So hold on. You're saying when you get good kids back in the lineup, that helps?
Do you want me to take a hard stance?
I mean,
because I will.
Sounds like what you just did. That's crazy.
Carve it in stone.
This is why we are the JV.
We shouldn't be
with
JV.
Deep stuff like that.
We should not be JV
Good
takes.
kids help your lineup.
We should be hot takes.
I cannot take you serious when you start doing that. Well, I can't take you serious anyway.
So another thing I noticed from that night, Northfield's lineup, they're now running out 3 girls at 107, 114, and 121. Is Northfield like, I mean, we knew they were a girls program, but are they just like the best at developing girls, or like what's going on there?
Well, if you look at it, I'm sure they got a ton of great practice partners. I mean, you get one in the room, you get another, and you get another, and it just snowballs.
It's true. It's a culture.
So, yep. I mean, you got one of the best girls in the state, and then I would assume she can recruit and help coach her own girls in the pro. Yeah. Seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah. So the third team in that triangular, I don't want to brush past this because Austin did go 0-2 on the night. But last year, when they wrestled Rochester Mayo, they only put up 3 points. This year, they put up 27. Last year, when they wrestled Northfield, they only put up 6. This year, they put up 20. So those are the markers you're looking at, right? When you're trying to develop a program, are we getting better year to year? Are we continually pushing the best teams in our section? Austin, I can't take this hat off, but hats off to you guys.
Goodness.
So those are results from Thursday night that I thought were significant. You were hot on Chatfield. Bold take by you there. I think a lot of good comes out of that Northfield, Rochester, Mayo, and Austin triangular, which led us, Kyle, right into the best time of year, the Minnesota Christmas tournament.
I think we need to rewind a little bit. Tuesday night. This was long. It was like the night after we recorded. Where were you?
That's a great question. I was at Rochester Mayo High School.
You were.
For the first ever girls wrestling duel, girls only wrestling duel in Section 1. It was electric, Kyle. The girls brought the energy.
What was that? So, what was it like? It's obviously, for those that don't know, same weight classes, right? Similar?
Not the same weight classes.
Similar?
Goes 100, 106, 112, 118, 124, up to 235. So similar. Sure.
But 13.
The same number. 13 weights. Yep.
How many teams had full lineups? What did it look like?
So nobody.
Break it down for me. I didn't see a second of it.
What were you doing?
That I have no idea.
Were you being a father?
I don't know.
If you were being a father, I'm okay with you missing wrestling for that. But that's the only thing you can miss wrestling for.
All right. What about getting the sheep back in? You know, now with video, if I want to, I think people think we're messing with them when the sheep get out. We can actually just show.
If
there's a
if you pull up one
around.
of those curtains over there, probably
eating
sheep.
right out here.
Yeah, popping its head in there. So it was not exactly like a traditional boys triangular. There were a few more forfeits just because, numbers are still developing. Chatfield had a really great group of girls from 100 pounds up to, the mid to upper weights, but then didn't quite have as many bodies in the top. And, Byron was a little bit spotty, Rochester Mayo as well. Part of that due to injury, part of that just because numbers are still developing. So the sport itself, and we kind of said this last year, but it is different than boys wrestling. There's still an element of unpredictability with it. Like the moves are a little bit different. Girls a little bit more flexible. I actually think that you could make a really compelling case that girls wrestling at this moment in time might be more exciting than boys wrestling because of the element of unpredictability. You don't know who's going to pin who. You don't know who's going to their back when. And it makes it so you can't ever look away. And there was a ton of that on display Tuesday night. There were a couple. Do you have a thought on that point?
Yeah, well, kind of.
You going to rip me?
No. I'm just curious because I wasn't there. The way you just explained that is kind of like a baseball, softball. Baseball and softball are different sports, similarities. Here, I think it's the same sport, but differences in just how girls compete versus boys compete.
Yes.
Like, you look at what a volleyball team brings, a dance, like the energy and excitement.
Yes.
And it's here. I can only imagine the swings in a dual setting for girls.
Yes.
I mean, they're wild for boys too, but yeah.
You know what was also crazy is like the ebbs and flows in the volume with girls wrestling. It's like when somebody's on their back or when there's a big match coming down to the wires, the volume is through the roof. But then when somebody's getting looked at by the trainer, you could hear a pin drop. Just like there's those peaks and those valleys, which I thought was pretty interesting. And there were also some moments where the duel was just a little bit clunky, right? Because if you think about it, if you get used to wrestling only individual tournaments, it's a very different format. Like the duel, the timing of your warm-up is different, and then your coach has to check you in, and just like there's kind of a process to it. So it was a little bit clunky like that, where you're waiting for your name to get announced or whatever. But girls did great with it. The energy was high. Ryan Radke stayed calm the entire time. He was excited, but
I don't
calm.
believe that at all.
No, he was calm. He was excited, but he was calm as well, and it was fantastic.
That's good. That's fun. I'm excited. Are they doing more? When's the next one?
That's a great question.
I do need to make it to one. I'll bring Hazel. We can.
I know there's one coming up soon. I don't know when it is. I think it's got to be January. I don't know if Northfield would be getting in on that or Grand Meadow or something.
All right. I got to check out the chat. I just screwed up. I just put your aunt in a timeout. I didn't know we could do that.
Thank you for doing it.
So it deleted all of her messages.
Thank you for doing that before I had to.
She was my bad. Didn't know that was a thing. I'd be like, oh, this will be funny. I'll put somebody in a timeout.
I'm gonna look at the deleted message.
Can you look at it?
That's funny because she would be the aunt too that needs to get like checked in the chat.
That's good. So
Oh, she said move the mic. Oh, she wants to see my face.
yeah,
And your face. Well, sorry, Julie.
she said I was faking my cough. I'm like, oh yeah, so whatever.
The weird thing is my aunt Julie and your mom Julie, I think there's a lot of parallels there in terms of just the energy they have. But I think that's a discussion for another show.
We don't need to bring that to the listeners.
Did you hear what people have been talking about?
No.
The GOAT, the Section 1 coaching GOAT. You haven't heard about this? Oh, it's all over the forum.
No.
What do you think? Who is it? Bill Sutter, Scott Davis.
No, you give me context here. I'm confused.
So a lot of new school people are saying that Savannah Vold is the GOAT of Section 1 coaching because she has never lost a duel in Section 1 history.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean, Scott Davis has won over 1,200 matches. Bill Sutter coached for 37 years, but both of those guys lost a lot of matches.
They did lose every once in a while. Yep.
Wow.
Huh. Well, we'll have to take that to the committee. Maybe we can discuss that at the end of the year in our year-end awards.
We'll think about it. So what else do we have to discuss here from this last week, Kyle?
So you were going to jump into the Christmas tournament.
Yep. Yeah, we got Christmas tournament. So 3 Section 1 teams placed in the top 10. KM got 8th, Kennewinemengo 9th, and ZM 10th. A lot of really good lightweights kind of jumped out to me there. Northfield and Albert Lee both placed 4th as well. KM 6th. So yeah, it was a pretty good showing, I'd say, for Section 1 all in all. Did you get a chance to tune into the Christmas tournament at all?
No, I was, what was I doing? Saturday. Oh,
Family Christmas.
I did. I was in Grand Meadow. Yep. Nope, followed a little long results. I think the big one that stuck out is you talked about him just briefly early that it wasn't in the lineup on Thursday, but Calder Sheehan brings it home. When's the last time Mayo had a champ at the Christmas tournament?
They have one other in history. I think it was 2003.
I could check their history on their website, but I'm sure that would not be accurate. So, no, congratulations, Calder. That's an accomplishment. I mean, that Christmas tournament is absolutely loaded with studs, and they're basically from all around the state. Would you say it leans more Metro?
Yeah, it definitely does. There were only 2 Class A teams. It was Kennewinemengo and then Medford were there in Class A. Otherwise, it's basically your Mounds Views, your STMAs, your Stillwaters come
all
down. And
Al and Josh's guys.
all of Al and Josh's guys, that's right.
You basically got to place at state, right, before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what we are? We're a podcast for the people.
We are.
We love outstate Minnesota. We're not prejudiced. You're a goat farmer? Great. You're a sheep farmer? Awesome.
Not a problem. Yep.
Yeah.
You chop wood up in northern Minnesota? We got you. So, you're an investment banker? Find a different podcast. So, all right. So good job, Calder. And then KW, I mean, we talked about how they had those really good lightweights. And yeah, you mentioned it placed all of them 107 to 133. That's hard to do. That is very hard to do.
Very difficult to do. But you and I were talking about this off mic, and Kennewinemengo is just built to do really well in this individual format where you can rack up points with a high number of place winners. I got to give Alex Vanden Hooten credit because he had an awesome article in the Post Bulletin on Calder Sheehan, and he was trailing 4-0 in that match, and he came back to score the last 5 points. He won 5-4, and there's a video on Alex's Twitter page of the last second takedown. He literally, at the buzzer, got the takedown on the edge of the mat to win the Christmas tournament. And I was correct. Second Christmas tournament champion from Mayo, and the first since 2003.
Who was 2003?
Josh Zabel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You remember that name?
I do. That was my era.
Did you wrestle him?
I don't believe so. How big was he? I feel he was a little bigger.
Yeah, he
Back
might
then,
have
I was
been.
just a little fella.
Yeah.
So
And I think I read this in the post bulletin, but I know Calder was banged up going into that too. So gutty effort, absolutely gutty effort. I gave him my athlete of the week on the Sunday morning ride. I think we should double up. I think he should be.
100%.
I think he should be athlete of the week again.
You take home a title like that, sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey Calder, put in the chat what size T-shirt you are.
Oh, he lives in Rochester. He's right next to that Culver's. I mean, I don't know if he's actually next to it, but in context of we have to drive a half hour.
Do we have coupons for Butterburgers, don't we?
We do.
We'll give you one, but it's not good until the end of the season.
Correct.
Can't use it until March.
It's a anti-expire date.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
there you go. Congratulations, Calder.
Congrats, Calder. So other stuff that jumped out at me from the Christmas tournament. We mentioned those Section 1 teams that did pretty solid. Some individuals from Section 1 that I thought did really well. Aiden Grainer got 6th in the 145-pound bracket. Listen to this. Listen to the depth of this bracket, Kyle. 13 state entrants, 10 state place winners, 3 state finalists, and 2 champions in the 145-pound bracket. The outstanding wrestler of the entire tournament was Davis Perro, who was the number 2 seed or number 3 seed. He's a returning state champion, so it's not a surprise that he won it. But the wrestler that he beat to win that state title, or excuse me, the Christmas tournament title, was ranked 8th in the nation. He was a 2-time Wisconsin state champion who had only lost 2 matches in his entire career. And Davis Perro beat him 12-11, which is by far the best possible Christmas tournament you can have.
Do you think he ever wrestled in Section 1? Because Farmington used to be in Section 1.
I think he was too young.
He was too young. Otherwise, he's one of our guys.
No, he's one of our guys.
So,
Yeah.
sorry, Al. Got another one.
When I was...
Because he was trying to put him on his Section 2 team, but it's all where you started.
he should be on the Section 1 team.
Guarantee he went to a Section 1 Mayo Civic match. He might have just watched, but
Well, now, I mean, he wrestled in the Civic Center on Friday and Saturday, so
there you go. He wants to be in Section 1.
he does want to be in
So
Section 1.
that is an impressive resume, though,
And-
for a bracket and then to win that.
I didn't get a chance to stop down there, but I'm assuming that Brandon Eggum was there because his son was wrestling in the Christmas tournament. If I was Brandon Eggum, I would have walked up to Davis Perro and said, "Do not leave the state of Minnesota. You are not getting out of here." Which is kind of interesting too, because the Gopher Wrestling Club runs that tournament. So,
Yep.
a little bit of scouting maybe going on. Who knows? Down low, Liam Summer got 3rd at 107. Carl Murray got 4th. You might have mentioned Liam Summer, but those were impressive.
Welcome to the big stage, fellas. They put on a show.
Yep.
So, Carl's first year, Liam spot a little
Spot
more
duty
than
last year.
He was
He was undersized,
Yep.
but now I'm guessing he's probably a full 107.
Yep.
That's a problem. That's a problem right there.
So good job. They will be finally. We got our little guys to watch.
Yeah.
They'll be there around for a while.
And then last Section 1 shout out I'll give here. Braden Lorenzen of Byron got 10th, which I thought was an awesome tournament for him. He had to go through some really, really tough wrestlers. You know, the Christmas tournament and like the bi-state, you could be a really good wrestler well above 500. You might get your hand raised once. You might have one layup to start the tournament, but it gets real so fast. You run into state entrants in the second round, state place winners, you know, well before the quarterfinals, and those are very real tournaments. So with that being said, Kyle, I got to ask you, start one, bench one, cut one, holiday tournament version. We've got the Bi-State Classic, we've got the Clash, and the Minnesota Christmas Tournament. You can only put one in the starting lineup. You got to put another one on the bench, on the back burner, and one of them is getting cut from the lineup. What are you doing there?
So what do you mean by back burner? Like,
So it's in the
I mean, I
hole.
get the concept of the game, but like,
It's basically first best, second best, third best.
Okay.
And now you ruined it because
No,
now that I explained the bit, it sucks.
well, it's not because then isn't usually like, well, no, I can't. Anywho, I'll
Christmas
just go
brings out the worst in you. We're scrapping the bit.
No.
We're scrapping the
No,
bit. It's over.
I'll rank it. Bench one. I just don't get the difference between bench and cut.
So bench is still on the team, so you can use it if you need to.
So I still get to go.
If
Am I watching or what?
just rank them 1 through 3. I'm gonna step outside quick.
1 through 3, I got to rank them.
Well, I shouldn't even ask you that.
Well, what's
you
yours?
You wouldn't go to any of these.
What's yours?
That's a great question. So
And I'm going to expose myself as a fraud here shortly.
yeah, me too. I'm a fraud as well. I'm benching the Minnesota Christmas tournament
100% agree.
because
Oh, no, I'm cutting that one. Sorry, I'm cutting it.
or excuse me, yes, I'm cutting. I meant to say cut.
It's
you
gone.
You got to take the
See
whole
ya.
take the whole picture into effect. Rochester, Minnesota versus La Crosse, Wisconsin. La Crosse, there's a million great places to eat, cold beverages, great places. You can walk down to the river. The river in Rochester is covered by those nasty snow geese.
Do you think we're just like Rochester's too close? So it's not like an event?
Maybe.
I mean, because I bet there's something to that.
It could be. I like the Mayo Civic Center. I think that's a good venue. But the issue is like you don't have many places to walk. You know what I
Agreed,
mean?
yeah.
In between sessions and stuff like that. The competition wise, if I'm a fan, you have elite level competition, right? You get Davis Perro against a top 10 nationally ranked wrestler. You get wrestling state champions in the semifinals. But it's no lacrosse.
And they've jumped between RCTC, Mayo Civic. You know,
Yeah.
it's just because if you do it at RCTC, you're away from everything. At least Mayo Civic, you can walk.
You can walk places, but there's just not as many places.
Yes. Yep. So,
Yeah.
okay, we agree. That's weird.
Christmas tournament's gone. Get it
You
out of
gone.
here.
We
Yep.
like it, but you gone in this scenario.
This one is
I got Fillmore Central holiday tournament over the Christmas tournament even, but
Sure.
continue. We
So-
should talk about that after your little exercise.
Once again, this is me coming from the perspective of being a fan, not as a coach, not as an athlete, being a fan, watching the event. I'm starting the bi-state. I'm putting the bi-state at number 1 because the entirety of the spectacle. They just do such a fantastic job with the finals round. There's the stage, there's the smoke, there's the lights, there's the lighting. They do trivia throughout it. They invite broadcasters down there to hop on the live stream and do live shows, which cheap plug for us and the Wisconsin Wrestler podcast. We will be doing a live bracket reveal on Thursday for the bi-state, so stay tuned for that. But the entire spectacle is just elite with the bi-state. If there was a way to like isolate the final round of the Clash or isolate that championship bracket and give it its own time frame and give it its own mat, I think that would just be absolutely incredible. So I'm starting the bi-state, I'm benching the Clash, and I'm cutting the Minnesota Christmas tournament. And hopefully I don't get in trouble for anybody for sharing those opinions, but that's the world we live in.
I am doing a poll, so I'm curious what the people say. Because I think I got to agree with you. I'm on the fence. I haven't been to the Clash since it's gone to Wisconsin. I really like dual tournaments, and like big dual tournaments are an absolute blast.
Oh, they kick butt, don't they?
But yeah, right now, I think I got to lean by state.
Can I vote in this?
I don't know. No, because I did it under ours. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see if people vote. Are you voting that many?
No, I'm not voting. People are. We got 2 votes in. I'm guessing the people watching on their TVs probably can't vote, and obviously the people who are podcasting this right now can't vote. So
No.
maybe you guys next time subscribe to our YouTube page.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, subscribe so you can see this stuff. So currently 50-50. Nobody so far for the Christmas tournament. 6 votes in though. So we'll revisit that at the
I
end.
think we got them off the Christmas tournament. I'm really sorry to the Gopher Wrestling Club if you guys have the tournament next year and like 3 people show up. Christmas tournament is great. It really is. Let's get in lacrosse though.
Al and Josh are going to destroy us for this.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
We better touch on a couple other events before we move on to this upcoming week. I know we talked about the bi-state a little bit there, but we had the Fillmore Central Holiday Tournament.
you want me to run through that one?
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of, excuse me, as expected, Chatfield pretty much cleaned up in that tournament. Had a really good showing. Number 2, and we didn't really touch about this. They had a good match with Stewartville either. They kind of took it to Stewartville. Pine Island, I think it was a lot to 6 at the end of the day against Stewartville. And Stewartville was a Final Four team last year in AA.
I talked about that.
You did. I was not paying attention then.
It's so nice when I catch you
That's
not
the
paying
first
attention.
time.
This is good.
So, Lew- Lewiston Altura, Rushford Peterson got third. So when I was looking through the results here on this, one thing that really stuck out, there was a few brackets where Chatfield had 1 and 2. Like, that's some depth. Usually we can edit this stuff out when you do silly things like that, but
I get to see the replay on the camera here because my stream is delayed. Here I come. I'm
and you
about to
go
hit
and-
my head on there.
this is going south here. So, big match though. I thought, and we kind of talked about this briefly. Ben Carrier over Kane Larson.
Yeah, that's a great win for Ben Carrier.
So, ended up being 11-8. So some high scoring action and go from there. Are you just literally watching yourself right now?
I'm waiting for it. Here it
You
comes.
already did it.
Nope, it's coming.
No, you.
I'm really delayed on this stream here. It'll be here in a minute.
Oh,
Another Chatfield result that popped out to me, an individual result. Heavyweight, Cole Raymaker. He got first place,
yep.
which is
Will Bolter.
right, one of those areas where we were saying, hey, how's Chatfield going to grow and develop in this spot? Are they going to be strong enough up top? Well, it appears like they are developing wrestlers up top and they are fortifying the rear end of their lineup.
Yeah. At 189, Cole Sass of Fillmore Central, Lanesboro, Maple Canton. We don't talk about that very often. So
good win for him.
Very nice at 189 against some solid wrestlers there. And then I am going to butcher the last name, and I apologize. There goes my new season resolution. Quentin Bethauser. Is that how you say that?
I'm saying Bethauser. Bethauser?
Bethauser. It could be. I don't know.
LARP people in the chat, let us
Hook us
know,
up
please.
with the pronunciation. Anyways, he won 145. So very nice showing, LARP. He's 11-2 currently, senior. I think somebody said maybe he was dinged up a little bit the last couple of years.
Yeah, someone on the forum said he's missed the last couple.
So that's a good win for him, and just LARP in general, kind of putting it together early in the season. So we'll see how this progresses with them. Owen Lang, and also Owen Lang won it. Christian Zabrowski, he got second behind Javier Berg. So there you go.
Big picture here, looking at some of these results for the FCL MC tournament. LARP got third behind Pine Island. Another good showing from Pine Island. There.
Pine Island is consistently doing what they should.
Yeah,
So
checking the boxes, right? Checking the boxes. Look at this, though. A lot of Section 1A teams. Kyle, you're a Class A guy. You love Class A wrestling. LARP handedly gets the third place finish. But then I found this interesting because last year Grand Meadow was seated higher than Troyton and Fillmore Central, Lanesboro, Maple Canton. But here at this individual tournament, it's Fillmore Central in 4th, Troyton in 5th, and Grand Meadow in 6th. So there could be a little bit of a changing of the guard there within that middle tier of teams. And keep in mind, this is an individual tournament, so this isn't exactly apples to apples when we're talking about potentially how things could shake out in the team race. But I think you touched on it there with Orion Sass. Fillmore Central is continuing to develop. And I mentioned, a couple Troyton names last week. Theo Kispert's wrestling well down low. Hunter Garness made the finals. And then the 7th grader, Adriana Coons, is filling out 107 for Troyton. So a couple teams that might be on the rise right there in Section 1A. And we better jump, Kyle. We better jump from Section 1A to 1AA and just tie the knot on the last week of results and then move along. Lake City hosted a quad on Friday. Good news there, Caledonia is back on the mat. Lake City actually beat Caledonia. Caledonia was seated ahead of Lake City last year. That's a really nice win for Lake City. They also beat Waseca, which is a section opponent, and then LARP was there as well. LARP was the only team that Lake City lost to, so I think a really solid showing there from Lake City going 2-1. The big victory there over Caledonia. And then LARP, I believe, just got one duel in the night, beat Lake City. And I think, I don't have the results in front of me because I'm a JV podcaster, but I believe Caledonia did knock off Waseca as well there. So just to round things out, more stuff kind of taking shape in the middle tier of teams in Section 1A and 1AA.
There we go.
I think we tie the metaphorical bow on results for
Sounds
this
like
week.
a plan.
Coming up, Kyle, what are you excited for? We got the Bi-State Classic. We got Rogers Royal Rumble. We got a girls tournament up in Champlain Park. And the UW Eau Claire Holiday Duels.
Yeah, have you ever been to that one?
I have not.
I know KW has gone there a lot. Pam obviously is going again this year, but I've never been to it, so I like.
It's a fun format.
Yeah.
16 teams. You get 16 teams there. You do some pool wrestling and then bracket off of that. That's fun.
Do you think KW and Pam will wrestle? That would be a fun duel. I mean, we'll see if they wrestle, but that'll be
I think
that could be cool if they wrestle.
What I'm doing is thinking if it would be a fun duel.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, it would. There would be some good matches down low.
Be a ton of good matches down low, and if they went KW's way, the top could get very interesting.
It could come down to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Could come down to it.
and then the Rogers Royal Rumble. So that's a pretty big tournament.
It is.
So you got Dover Yoda, Wabasha Kellogg, and Austin there. I want to say, is it 32 teams? Or is it not quite that big?
At Rogers?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's that big.
Okay.
When I looked in the track wrestling page, I had to go to the second page to find Wabasha Kellogg, and I believe they do 30 teams per page.
You know, we are getting destroyed on this whole, nobody cares about the Packers.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Okay.
Just stop. They're trying too hard.
They are up 21-0.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, another Packers comment, and you're getting banned.
I should put him on a timeout.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to
But I don't actually know what to put. I
Homie.
should look that up before I start doing that to too many
Homie's
people.
ripping us too. You see Homie ripping us?
Yeah.
He needs to be put on timeout.
So,
You should be here running the computer, Homie. And instead you're watching football.
And what else? You said there was, the girls tournament.
The girls tournament. Yep. That should be a fun one. Champlain Park, that's pretty big. A lot of city schools, a few teams from Section 1 are heading up there. Northfield, Casson Manorville, Owatonna, and Albert Lee. So KM and Albert Lee each have, 5, 6, 7 girls that are going to be up there competing. Northfield, I think, should have more, but you don't know because there's a couple of girls in Northfield that could be going girls. They could be just doing boys tournaments this time of year. And then Owatonna will have a few hammers that they're going to throw in their tool chest as well. So that one will be good. Good city competition for the girls. We mentioned the Rogers Royal Rumble. Bi-State Classic, Kyle. How fired up are you?
I cannot wait.
1 to 10?
Like a 16, give or take. I don't know. No, it'll be a lot of fun. So, yeah, that gets going on Friday. This year it's a little weird being this close to Christmas, but that's all right. So we'll get to go down there and see all these local teams. So Chatfield, ZM, LARP, Hastings, Goodhue, all those kind of Section 1 and adopted Section 1 teams. And then other Cannon Falls, Caledonia missed you guys. Bloomington, Kennedy, Hutchinson, Orono. So Minnesota versus Wisconsin. You going to talk some smack to Teague when you're on the live show? When it's like an all Wisconsin audience? You won't.
He and I were on the phone and I joked about that. I was like, I'm going to be just poking at the Wisconsin listeners. And I think his exact words were, every good movie needs a supervillain.
And you can just bring up Chatfield last year, kind of ran away with it. Didn't Hastings do really well?
Hastings won.
Was that 2 years ago?
Hastings won it 2 years ago. So okay, don't look at this. Here's my trivia question for you, Kyle.
For me or for the masses?
No, this isn't for everybody. This is only for Kyle. So everybody, if you want to answer this one in the chat, go ahead and answer this one in the chat before Kyle does. There were, of the last 4 bi-states, 3 Minnesota teams won the overall bi-state. Don't say these yet, Kyle. Think about it for a second. And name those 3 teams that have won the bi-state 3 of the last 4 years.
Are any of them doubled up?
No, 3 different
individual?
teams. You're going to get 2 of them.
Yep.
You're going to get the most recent 2, but I don't think you're going to get the one that is furthest away.
How long ago was it?
It was in 2019 because there was no bi-state the COVID year. So we're looking for the winner of the 2023 bi-state, the 2022 bi-state, and the 2019 bi-state.
2019.
2020 was COVID and 2021 was a Wisconsin team. I think it was like Stratford or Marshfield or something.
And this is overall, or is this just their division?
Overall.
Hastings was overall.
Yes.
Chatfield was
That
overall.
was the year Hastings won state, remember?
Yeah, yep,
They
yep.
pulled off the upset against STMA.
So 2019 overall, I have a gut feeling I know, but I think I'm wrong. Grand Meadow. I think they were there
What?
that year.
Yeah, maybe the girls by state they won.
Oh, well, you didn't clarify.
Also, you're getting ripped for this one. Homie says Chatfield, ZM, and Caledonia. No, homie. Not ZM, not Caledonia.
Actually,
But ZM did
ZM
win.
ZM was my second guess.
I think ZM won Division II last year.
It has to be a team that wasn't there then.
So-
oh no, it could have been Caledonia. Caledonia was loaded, weren't they?
They were, but they got second in their division, the middle school.
I really don't know then. Hutchins?
2019, they had a wrestler who was really, really good. He won a title. His last name rhymed with Valentine.
Stillwater.
Stillwater. Yep. That was, I think, Reed Ballantyne's senior
Yep.
or junior year. So
No, I don't. Yeah, they usually. I don't. They weren't on the list this year.
I have not
Or you
seen
missed
them.
him.
I don't think they've been there in a while. Yep. Courtney Miner got it. Congratulations, Courtney.
Stillwater. Nice job.
Bingo. Yep. Either she has a good memory, he or
Google.
she has a good memory, or they are very,
She
very
Googled it.
fast with the fingers.
You think she'll tell us if she Googled it or if she actually knew that?
Be honest.
I'm going with Googled.
All right. So that's by state. We're not going to spend time speculating about who's going to be where because we have no idea,
It's hard. And you're doing a show to reveal brackets anyways. So
which is exactly what I wanted to talk about. So if you're excited for the by state,
how many times do I step on your touchdown bell?
we are going to be revealing the brackets at 10 a.m. on Thursday. So I know homie's going to be at work. He's going to be watching the live stream when he's supposed to be working. Everyone else, be like homie, okay?
What time did you say? 10?
10 a.m. The Wisconsin Wrestler Podcast is going to be hosting it. So it's going to be coming from their feed, wherever that is, YouTube or Rockfin or whatever. But if you go to JV Takes and you set notifications for our social media page, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is, I will get that link tweeted out. I will get it to you people so you can watch 10 a.m. If your son or daughter is wrestling in the bi-state, you're going to want to watch that. You're going to want to know where they're ending up in the bracket because wrestling will not start until Friday morning. So you're essentially getting to know where their spot is 24 hours before the tournament actually starts. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'll be hopping on the live stream. Kyle's going to be down there taking in wrestling. I'm making you sleep on the cot. Actually, get your own hotel room.
I already got my own room.
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
done
say.
with you.
I was gonna say.
After last year when I picked on you for your terrible storytelling abilities,
yep.
I'll never say that again.
Courtney came clean. Aiden Miner
Nice
knew
job,
the answer.
Aiden.
That's Elite Wrestling Mind. I have a sounder here. I'm going to give him a round of applause.
You're probably gonna mess it up.
Nope, that's not right.
No, it was. You got to turn it up though. I hear it in my thing.
Yeah, it's very soft.
Yeah.
Anyways, well done, Aiden. Very well done.
That was good.
All right. What else do we got on the buy state? I'm good on the buy state.
Yeah, good. Go check out that Holiday Lights that goes through. I think the rest of the weekend.
Did we say the girls' team's competing though?
No, we did not. Remember last year when we revealed the? Well, yeah, we were going through the. Oh, that was the Clash. We were going through the list of teams, and then we realized we were going through the girls' teams and not the boys' teams.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny.
We did we go back and cut that out?
Yeah, we did.
We recorded an entire episode previewing the Clash, and we were so confused about the brackets.
We got like 15 minutes in, and we're like, this doesn't make any sense. So
we should have left that in.
that would have been good.
Yeah, that was.
There was some editing in some early episodes of ours last year.
Yeah, there was. There was also an accidental pregnancy reveal.
That was hilarious. Too.
We're gonna have to get him back on to tell that story.
Yeah.
That was fun. So the girls' team's competing: Bloomington, Kennedy, Cannon Falls, Chatfield, Eastview, Grand Meadow, Leroy, Ostrander, Southland, Hutch, LARP, Orono, South St. Paul, and ZM. In terms of teams that are contending, Chatfield won last year by about 20 points. I think they could run it back. I don't see any reason they couldn't run it back.
Are you calling it?
Do you want me to?
No, I'm just curious. Is that a call or are you just...
No. Because remember what's been working this year? I've been giving them bulletin board
So
material.
you're going to say Chatfield's not even in the top 10?
I don't know if Chatfield can do it.
That'll be fun.
So This is a really good segue, Kyle, because my trivia question we have today
Oh, trivia.
is about Bi-State. And
Trivia.
what the heck is wrong with you?
Did we have a debacle last
Every
week?
single response we got, every single text message that was sent to us was basically just ripping you because you have no idea how to do trivia.
Okay. I struggle with this one. If you were to go find historical data and facts, where would you go? Like the site that says, here's the history of our tournament? That's what I would do.
So it wasn't a red. You go through and you look at previous Christmas tournament winners, and it's not a red flag to you that Bennett Bergey's name isn't in there. You just go through and you go, oh, Brock 4, Brady 4. Yeah, that makes sense.
No, it's wrong. It was actually 3 and 5, but.
So, anyways, my point, that was not a red flag for you that Bennett Bergey's name wasn't in there?
Well, it was, but hey, why would I second guess somebody that is the keeper of the data? So we got an S show on our hands, and we got to figure out who we're going to award the trivia. Just anybody that ripped on me?
I like this particular rep. Jimmy Creer, Mark Creer's brother, who is the voice of Byron Wrestling, you know. Whoa! You know, he's got that really deep gravel.
Yeah.
He said, Bergey's, but the question is incorrect. I just like the bluntness, straight to the point. He's like, the question's wrong.
I should pull up some of the other ones. They were pretty funny. Maybe you go into the trivia, and then I can go down the list of people that ripped me.
Yeah. So I'll let you.
There was a lot of confused people too, because they're like, wait, they'd answer, and then you could tell the next message would come in like 15 minutes later. Like, that doesn't seem right.
Yes. Yeah. So, we got a few of those. So this week's trivia question is about the Bi-State. Do not answer this in the chat, okay? You'll be eliminated. Trivia will be ruined. Christmas will be ruined if you answer this in the chat. But the question is this. It's all about Minnesota. It's all about Section 1. Because we love Minnesota, we love Section 1. Which Section 1 team has the most individual Bi-State titles? Okay, not team titles. How many individual wrestlers from this school have won the most Bi-State titles? Okay, there is your question. Now, you will send us the answer by going to our podcast page, and there's the link that says, send us a text. You send us a text right through there, and it goes to the inbox that Kyle is reading right now, where he is getting ripped by our listeners.
They are kind of funny. Oh, also, are you eligible if you email us through the website?
That's fine.
I had a couple of those.
Yep. You can send us an email, jvtakes1@gmail.com, or go through the website as well.
Yeah, they do that contact us form. So on the trivia here, I didn't tell you who, you know how last week when we did the trivia and they didn't leave their name?
Yeah, there's somebody that keeps not leaving their name, and I wish I had their name so I could rip them.
I do know who it is. He called me.
Who is it?
So, so what's funny is because we both have his number, and I think that's why he realized he wasn't leaving his name. He's like, well, you guys have my number. He has made comments about almost everything we've done.
Homie.
No.
Mac Ryder of Red Wing.
It was Cody O'Reilly.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Yep. So I'm like, yeah, that's fair. We probably should have known that.
He's part of the mustache group. Or
he was.
But he's got a beard.
He had a beard.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He knew how to handle himself in the facial hair.
He's done pretty solid in trivia, though, hasn't he?
I think he's got them all right.
Yeah, I was going to say he's 3 for 3.
Yeah. So that was the one we picked last week and didn't.
Do you want to draw for trivia this week, or do you want to? I mean, I would like to pick the person that insulted you the most or said you got it wrong the most, but.
Well,
I guess I already name dropped Jimmy Creer, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. It's your day. I screwed it up. I don't know if I really want to keep messing it up.
Congratulations, Jimmy Creer. You are last week's trivia winner.
Did you just do that so Mark Creer doesn't yell at you?
Well,
he's probably got a lot of pent up.
Do you like getting yelled at by Mark?
Anger now that he's not Matt's side.
Yeah, he does.
I'm kidding, Mark. That's a joke. All right,
we got to get Mark back.
So
on the show.
He could recap what happened in ZM.
Yes, it was. They were honoring Mark Creer. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
You didn't see that on the live stream? Yeah, before the ZM KM duel, they honored Mark Creer. It was awesome. He's not Coaching, Mark's not as involved, but he's still got that energy. He is just still just like some people walk through life and they experience life. Some people have life flowing through them.
All right. Moving on. Jesus.
Okay. Athlete of the week.
The final results on our poll, we had the bi-state with 40%.
Yeah, they get it.
Bi-state.
We already got our athlete of the week. That's Calder. We did not get sponsors, and we did not mention apparel. So somewhere on our social media page, there's a link to our apparel. I should just pin that at the top of our page. But if you want to look like a Section 1 Bobo, go get your Section 1 apparel. And then we'll thank our sponsors.
The free quote of the week has to be, "Can't see your adorable face, Logie."
My Aunt Julie.
Yep.
Congratulations, Aunt Julie. You've won quote of the week.
That's pretty good. Brought to you by
Heman Tree Services. That's right. Heman Tree Services. So our other sponsors, Ag Partners, Joe Morgan. I actually had him on the Sunday morning ride. So cheap plug for the Sunday morning ride. Go listen to the Sunday morning ride. Joe Morgan was awesome. Some good storytelling going on there. And then Amy Peterson also joined me on the Sunday morning ride. She was pretty insightful and very excited about the first ever year of Caston Manorville Comets girls wrestling. And did you make an appearance at Joe Morgan's retirement party?
I did. I went and said hi.
What do you think? Good time?
Yeah, it was a good time. Had a good turnout. Refs, Ag Partners employees, all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to have to start doing a few extra, lunges or something, because now I'm going to have to lift my own dog food to the car. So
Joe would carry it for you?
Yeah.
What a guy.
Service with a smile. So,
man.
Yeah.
He's still got it. Still going to be on the mat, though, folks. Don't worry about that. Still going to be on the mat. And our other sponsors, Lodemeier's. We don't have a good new bit for Lodemeier's. We got to come up with a new bit for Lodemeier's. And Culver's. Of course, you see the logo down right over this way. Culver's Cam.
That was painful.
In the bottom corner of the screen. Thank you, Culver's. We love you. And I will probably be at Culver's tomorrow. And hopefully Calder is there in March.
Correct.
I
think that's all we got.
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
Well,
was there any more good what was I'm throwing that card. Anyways, we should just be done.
Yeah, I think this is enough. We're at like an hour 10.
All right.
We do have 3,000 people watching, though. Oh, my goodness.
Next week, are we live again? Are we recording? What are we doing next week? Have you decided?
Next week, I have family Christmas on Sunday, so we're not doing it on Sunday. So if we do
it, 30th.
It'll be a Monday night stream if we do it.
Otherwise, we'll maybe go back to we'll see. Stay tuned. You should just subscribe, and then I think you get notifications. I don't.
Yeah, subscribe to us on YouTube.
Sounds good.
Merry Christmas, kids.